Hi again. Now let me show you some of the ways young journalists are often helped to find something to write about. This might be when nothing newsworthy appears to be happening, or when all the breaking news stories have been assigned to more senior writers. Some journalists find worthwhile story leads both in last year's and in recent editions of their own or other newspapers, usually those circulating in the same area they are covering. They are told to start, say, 15 months back and read forward to the latest editions. After they've found what is current and what has happened in the past year or so, they then look closely at what was happening about 14 months back, coming forward to 12 months ago. This will produce two groups of stories they can draw on, the perennials and the anniversaries. Both potentially provide worthwhile opportunities, especially for new players. Perennials are things that happen every year. Christmas, New Year, Australia Day, Easter, Anzac Day are just a few of these. They make news as they approach, while they are happening, and wrap up stories when they have passed. Everything from the fact that they are about to happen to likely crowd sizes at events and anticipated highlights of the coming round are among many useful stories. This is also a good opportunity for reporters to note details of major breaking news items from about this time last year, looking for potential anniversary stories. As with the perennials, they are again concentrating on stories published 11 to 12 months ago. The first anniversary of all promised developments from this time last year is obviously now. Perhaps it's 12 months since the Mayor announced a new maternal health centre would be established within the next year. Has it? Has work even started? If not, why not? Perhaps the estimated costs have blown out? Or has it already opened? If so, how is it doing? Is it caring for the numbers predicted when it was announced? And so on. These updates are likely to make at least great picture stories, if not page leads. They are a rich source of stories most people are interested to read, including those who read the original announcements. Next, it's time to look at the most recent editions of the paper and read the advertisements, especially the classified advertisements, which are usually in the back end of most newspapers. Check everything from the situations vacant to the public notices and the for sale ads, and anything else that's there. This is another area of often overlooked news sources available to anybody who bothers to look. They're ideal for quiet days stories or while trying to establish really worthwhile news contacts. Let's start with the situations vacant list. There's probably not much of a story in somebody wanting to hire a labourer or an office manager. But if an organisation in a quiet country town has vacancies for, say, 50 industrial chemists, it might warrant a closer look. Then there are the for sale columns. These often include quirky, interesting items. I've seen numerous people advertising rare, classic, and vintage vehicles for sale over the years. In one I recall, a man said either his wife or his treasured Ford Mustang had to go. He couldn't afford to keep both. It became a great light-hearted picture story when his partner, who also had a sense of humour, contributed some quite creative threats of her own. Another advertisement offered a Stradivarius violin, allegedly made by the legendary Antonio Stradivari and possibly worth $1 million. It wasn't, but it made great copy as we traced its collection of owners over the years and ran some of their remarkably colourful stories. The list is virtually endless. It's not hard for a creative reporter to get an interesting or offbeat story out of the for sale columns. It's also important to look at the other classifications. The best operators check them all and invariably get things many of their peers miss. As already indicated, this research helps those who make the effort to scan these areas thoroughly. It gives them the chance to both produce immediate worthwhile stories, and it helps them develop the contacts likely to bring them great and often exclusive stories in the days and years ahead. My experience has been that those who put real effort into this type of development in their early days are frequently among those selected first for promotion. They are also among those who get some of the best high-end contacts, and therefore the chance to influence and shape the direction of future major news items. Many of these contacts are also likely to bring them into contact with other valuable news sources, and often in completely unrelated fields. That's enough for now, but there is another particularly valuable source of stories we all have readily available at our disposal, and I'll tackle that one next time we get together.